All right, welcoming onto the show today. You know, we have a character, that's for sure. We got Steve Walbolt.
Glad we got the name right. Yeah, I was going to say,
You
how
said
was
it
that?
right.
How was that? We were on the podcast we came on. They asked me how my name was. He wrote it down. He was like, it's Malio, right? Wrote it down, had it all.
Pronounced it a couple times.
Yeah, so Malio. All right, we're good. Jaret Maleo. We just started laughing. We were like, all right. Well, that's good. How you doing?
Good, man. Good.
I'm glad
Thanks
you
for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. You know, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? You know, for the viewers that maybe don't know you.
My name's Steve Walbolt. I'm from here, from Brunswick. Entrepreneur at heart. You know, I didn't go to college. Came right out of high school. Barely made it out of high school. Didn't have good enough grades for college. And worked in corporate America. Just kind of worked up the corporate ladder. And quite frankly, got sick and tired of working for guys that I thought I was better with that didn't take care of people. They just were worried about the dollar. So I started talking to a cousin of mine. We have a company called MDG Flooring America in Medina, and at the time it was failing. And there's not one person you can point that to. Basically, my uncle that founded it got a bad car accident, got brain damage. Well, my cousin knew the flooring industry inside and out, but didn't know business stuff. So that's all I actually learned in corporate America. So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to take this leap, jump in. I'm like, why don't we partner up? I'm going to get out of here. I put my notice in, and I left that day and went and bought a Corvette. And then I bought a failing company. Everyone's worried about me, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on with this guy?
What in the world?
And I had so many critics,
Yeah.
like so many critics, like, you're going to fail, this is not a good thing, you know, whatever. It made life better and turned into so many different entrepreneur routes that I have multiple companies today.
So what made you go buy that Corvette?
I don't know. I think it was like that reward to me that I took that leap of faith, and it was almost that toy or that prize, I guess, trophy that, shit, I got to make this work now. I got to pay for a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
was just thinking that. It was kind of like something, a little fire to light under you to like, all right, well, now I have this, so I can't let this, you know what I mean?
I couldn't let it fail.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Interesting. I've never heard, that has to be the first time. I listen to a lot of like entrepreneurial podcasts. That has to be the first time I've ever heard something like that. You just went out and bought a Corvette right before you took on one of the biggest challenges of your life.
Literally the biggest challenge of my life.
Yeah.
That actually, I learned a lot about myself that first year and a lot about my circle. Because people I thought buddies, my whole life changed literally overnight, not just work-wise, like didn't even know where my next paycheck's coming from,
Right.
but also the people I thought I could depend on. There's some family I cut out of my life.
I believe it.
Big time, because, they're all in your ear, and I'm like, finally, you guys know Greg Clement,
Yeah.
right? Remember talking to him through the whole thing, and he's like, why are you listening to people that have never been there?
Right.
I'm like, man, that light bulb went off. Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
That's good. I mean, you always hear that. So I'm just going to ask, we have, I would say our audience is a college-based audience.
Cool.
We're college kids, younger people maybe wanting to one day be entrepreneurs. Maybe
Sure.
they are entrepreneurs. My question to you is cutting out the people. Obviously not hard. It's tough to tell. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to use mom for an example. Maybe mom doesn't see eye to eye. You're not getting along. She's kind of holding you back, you feel. Maybe you're not fully cutting out mom. She's your mom. But my question is, what's the biggest tip you could give to someone that's looking to do that? Is there a certain evaluation they should be looking at? Is there just how they personally feel towards it?
So I look at it as you can kind of categorize each person, right? And it can be your mom, it can be your dad, because I can tell you this, and I'll talk about it because my dad will never watch this. I love my dad to death. He's an awesome mentor of mine. I look up to him. But when it comes to business, we don't really have the same vision on it. He doesn't like risk. He rather just work the job, go to work, you put in your retirement, retire. And so you got three categories. You got limited association. So that's my father.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I can go talk to him about sports, family stuff, whatever. I refuse to talk to him about money and business.
Okay.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
There's increased association. It's guys that are going to help, or guys or gals that are going to level you up, right? So talking to, I'll use Greg again. Use a guy like Greg. I want to increase my association with him because I'm surrounding myself with abundance mindset, people that'll never criticize me and stuff like that, and then completely disassociation. All right? Those are the people that are so negative. No matter what you do, they're going to dog you. They're going to talk behind your back, all that. Get them out of your life. That was the hardest one for me.
I believe it.
Yeah.
And then once you start believing in yourself and see the vision and what you're trying to build, it does get easier. You don't have to be heartless about it, but
Right.
you know, if they're that upset with what you're doing, your worlds probably don't align to begin with.
Interesting. That was really...
That makes total sense.
Yeah, no, it was great, but I've never heard like the 3 categories. Like that's gonna make me like. There's some episodes, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be quite frank. I don't go back and listen to all these episodes. I have to cut them, I edit them, you know, he does the same. We live them. It's like, how many times can you listen to the same conversation? That one I'll go back and I'll be sitting with a notebook and I'll try to be listing people. You know, I don't know if you recommend for people to actually sit down and write it out. That's how I saw it in my head, was write it in a notebook and see if there's people I can really put in those kind of categories. Well, dude, that was interesting.
Especially getting to know you and starting to get to know you, and with Cam, I've never met a core group of guys like yourselves that are very motivated, very, positive. And from what I see outside looking in, you guys literally just want to see everybody win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell Howie that all the time, because Howie was on this, right? Howie
Yep.
Gross,
oh, yeah.
Yep. That's another guy that always thinks he's failing. And I'm like, dude, you took the biggest leap that no one will ever take.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys can commit to keep staying together like that, your future it's crazy to me. It's so cool.
That's cool to hear. Yeah, no, we both appreciate that.
It's the same thing. I kind of feel the same way as Howie for like this podcast, for say. We'll have one do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, we'll get like no views. When I say no views, it's just
compared to the other.
You probably won't get any views on this one. Sorry.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll have to clickbait it.
Season three, it's gonna be skyrocketed.
But it's like, how do you stay motivated when you think things aren't going your way?
I have to fight that battle every day.
Yeah.
I literally have to fight that battle every day. I think part of it's paranoia.
Yeah.
You know, as an entrepreneur, I'm paranoid all the time. Like, you ever see that graph where it's like you're on your high, then you feel you're failing?
Oh, yeah.
Literally, that's me like every day. And I'm always thinking of the next step or the next innovative thing, or what can we do for our team, or did I let down my team? You know, that's one thing I've learned to understand. It's not just about growing sales. Business is war, and I truly feel that way.
Yeah.
But to stay motivated, it's the people I'm surrounded with helping me talk myself off the ledge, learning how to talk to myself to talk myself off the ledge. Really, it's always just taking in a lot of positive things, and journaling is something I'm starting to do a little more of. When I say journal, I'm not like doing a diary or nothing shit like that, but like even just note thing, I doodle a lot.
Right.
And it helps big time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How did you discover that? Just out of like you were
mastermind I was at, guy was doing it that I looked up to, and I'm like, shit, I should probably be doing the same thing.
Interesting.
And that's literally, it was that simple. I was like, okay, if this guy's doing it every day to get out of his own head, well, I should be doing it too.
Right. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to touch on. Since I kind of have gotten to know you a little bit more, you're big on, from what I can tell, is networking.
Big time.
And also looking up to people. Like, what do you recommend for someone listening right now? Where do you start with that? Do you just find a mentor? Or
dude, it's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You are the first person I've seen in a long time that has come in, especially working with Christina. Like, I went in, and when I want to get around people, I put myself out there. I'm not scared to. I'll go talk to anybody.
Right.
I'll go up to the fucking stage and be like, "Hey, can we connect for a minute?"
Yeah.
And then it turns into other cool things, right? But I'm always trying to bring value too, even though there's something maybe I can't offer them right away. But like, if I can do something for that person that helps them, maybe not bring money to me right away, but it brings value, and then I get this person's connection, and I get them consistent conversation, stuff like that. Think about what you're doing right now. You might be making a couple bucks and doing the real estate stuff, but dude, that's just the tip of it. Yeah. You're learning so much right now, not just about real estate, but about life, about entrepreneurship with Christina, that you're going to be able to take that and scale it.
Right.
And the cool part is down the road, as you scale, there's going to be a time where it comes around, like, you know, you might have a deal that, hey, Christina, I want to partner with you on it, or whoever, you guys, whatever. I jump in on the deal, whatever.
Right.
And that's how it's turned out with Cam's dad.
Yeah.
I asked somebody to introduce me to Jim, I don't know, 5 years ago. And I went up to him. We were at Copper Top. I think it was for the H2O Foundation, the Christmas wrapping.
Okay.
And told a buddy of mine, I'm like, hey, well, you know him. Will you introduce me? I really want to get to know him. And did. And I just said, hey, do you mind, can I buy you breakfast one morning and just chat? And went to Bob Evans, chatted for like an hour and a half, and I just stayed in contact with him. And I basically asked him, hey, how can we help you on the flooring side? I started there. Then it turned into us just kind of connecting over the years and him learning about the real estate thing. And him and Eric approached me like, hey, we'd like to partner with you. I'm like, you want to partner with me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck what we got to do. I'm partnering with these two guys.
Right.
I've looked up to them and they want to partner with me. Like, that was probably one of the best feelings I've ever had in the world. Like, I was so honored, and we're just getting started.
Yeah.
And look at that. It's a 5-year span.
Right.
You never know what's going to come out of it.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I got guys I've got to network with cross country that, we do some deals together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
it's just putting yourself out there and finding a way to, not necessarily pick somebody's brain, but how can you bring value to them? Even if you can't, try to figure it out, because I guarantee there's a way.
Interesting.
And that's kind of how I just have been, been brought up, is like, if you go talk to somebody, see not always what you can take, but keep give. The more you give, I'm a firm believer, the more you give, the more you're going to get.
Yeah.
Whether it's indirectly or directly.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I got to ask, because you said something about, the people that are critiquing what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. You cut them out, maybe you limit them,
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is there good critiques? Like, I feel like Preston, for myself, is a good critique. I feel like if I'm not on my shit, he kind of knows where my mindset is. If I'm not on my shit, he's going to tell me.
Give me an example. What's a good critique?
I don't know. I'm just going to throw it out here, all right? Maybe, I'm trying to think of, like, life. Maybe I'm doing something. Maybe I'm not with the podcast. Say if he wants to have an interview and I'm like, oh, I really got something going on. Like, I really can't do that. And he's like, dude, quit being a dumbass. We set up. This is what we're doing. I feel like that's a good critique. I feel like he's keeping me on my, but
Absolutely.
There's also times maybe where, my girlfriend's in town, she lives out of town, she's in town. I got to kind of make her a priority when she's here, which obviously I want to do that.
And you should respect that.
And he does. He fully does.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, maybe there's a point where, like, she's home for a couple weeks and, like, today we want to get some interviews done. He was kind of like, hey, let's go. We still have open slots to fill. Yeah, like, but I think that's good critique, personally. I really do.
Yeah, I'm talking about the negativity. Like, here's the thing. You're going to fail. I've heard that. I've heard that many times. And that actually gives me more fire to be like, fuck you.
Right.
Watch. Now I'm going to win even more.
Yeah.
And it's not always, like, to me, business isn't about money. Yeah, money's a byproduct of it. It's not about money. It's about winning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the best at everything I do. And I want to be surrounded by the best team that I absolutely can. And there's no person out there. I might appreciate you two, but I'm going to out-hustle both of you. Guarantee it. I don't care.
And we're going to try to out-hustle you, though.
Let's go.
Because that's kind of how it is.
We will.
There it is, see?
I will die before I let that happen.
Better watch out.
That's like the Will Smith. Have you ever heard the Will Smith about the treadmill? He's like, the difference between me and some people is, like, we can go on a treadmill together, but I'd rather die on the treadmill than have you beat me on the treadmill. That's what he says. I would rather you die on that treadmill. It's one of the speeches. Yeah, it's good. I'm into all kinds of, like, SoundCloud. I think it's the most underrated app of all time. I use it for motivational speak. I actually sent him something the other day, or not the other day, it was a couple months ago, about Thomas Edison. Sent him a little clip. I'm like, dude, you got to check this out. Just stuff. I love that kind of stuff. That's what I found kind of fires me up a little bit.
Sure.
I can listen to it in a workout, and it pushes me just a little bit harder. So I thought of that when you said that, because he's literally like, I would rather die on the treadmill than let you beat me in a race on it. Like,
I'm not going to let anybody beat me.
Yeah,
they might have won a battle, but they're not winning a war. I can promise you that.
That's that Tim Grover. Have you heard Tim Grover?
I've heard it, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, there's a book, Winning. I listened to the audiobook, not much of a reader. That's literally what you just said. That fire that he worked with Michael Jordan, helped train him. You should check it out. You'd really get into it.
I just started, actually. I went from doing Audible for many years. Now I committed to doing paperback books.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy. It's 10 pages a morning.
Yep.
And, my life has changed, since, I met Christina and we have a family and all that. It's like trying to find time for me.
Yeah.
So I wake up in the morning and bring our little dog down, have a cup of coffee, and I sit there and read my book.
You ain't fucking kidding. That thing is tiny.
It's a pound.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, don't get me started on
it
this
is
dog.
like this big, man. It runs around the office.
We got 2 of them now.
2 pounds. You got to.
Yeah. Well, one's like 4 pounds or something. I don't know.
There's people out there that have eaten bigger steaks than that dog.
I'm one of them, man. I'm one of them. Why do you think I got to get on a treadmill so much?
That's great.
That's awesome. So I got to ask about the. You made a comment about, like, waking up in the morning. Are you one of those 4 a.m. hustlers, or are you? I want to sleep until 9, and I want to grind late bird.
So, 10 years ago, I'd be up till like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, drinking whatever, and then I'll sleep in whatever.
Yeah.
And just work was whatever. Now, I wake up with a purpose,
Right.
and I'm not 4 a.m. There's some mornings I do if I can't sleep, but my alarm's set at between 5:30 and 6, and between 5:30 and 7 or 6 and 7, that's my time, because usually everyone else in the house is sleeping, and that's just my time to where I get to kind of like just, thought audit myself.
Yeah.
Kind of prep for the day, get myself mentally prepared, read my 10 pages. And, there's some people out there read a freaking book in a day. Hey, more power to you. I'm not competing against you on that. I'm competing against myself to get better. I went from Audible to paper.
Right.
One, to kind of keep away from the technology. It's always in our face all day long.
Yeah.
I don't even have my phone in the morning. I don't care. That can wait. So just sitting there, a cup of coffee and a book and learning. Yeah, that's basically my morning. Even on the weekends, dude. If we go out, it's like your body understands. You're still up. I might be dead tired, but I'm still up. I'm doing it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good to hear. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, you need to wake up early. I know a lot of people that are very successful at night, though, too. You know what I mean? Past 12 o'clock when other people are getting their 4 or 5 hours of sleep, that's when they do their best work.
I don't care how you do it. Just get it done.
Right.
Everybody's different. My comparing to somebody else that's waking up at 4 a.m. might be way different. You're comparing apples to oranges.
Right. And what's the difference if you wake up at 4 but go to bed at 7 at night, or if you wake up at 6 and go to bed at 9? Like, is there a difference? If you're getting shit done, you're getting shit done.
As long as you're getting it done and you're productive and you have an actual plan, that's half the battle. Like, because I'm usually in bed by 8:30, 9:30 usually.
Right.
Throughout the week.
I do have to ask, because this is something that sits with me all the time. What is your thought on time and people's excuse of not having enough time? I fucking hate that excuse so much. Everyone says, I'm too busy. Are you, though? Or is
I used to use it. You guys probably have used it.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the past, right?
I feel like time is such an excuse for people that's like, I'm too busy that day. Well,
it's a lame-ass excuse.
Are you that busy?
But think about it. How the world is brought up, how the world is created is to use excuses like that. I didn't have time. I didn't have time. I didn't have time. It's not just in business. It's in family life. It's in working out. It's in health. Your self-development, whatever. I don't have time. So we don't even know what that means. Most of the world doesn't even know what that means. They just use it as a lame-ass excuse.
Right.
You obviously already know what it means. That's something that if you're a good leader and you're good at like really building yourself around good people, like he's holding you accountable, you're holding him, you guys eliminate that out of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
And that's something we have, and we're not perfect at it, but we eliminate it out of our vocabulary. And if I catch my partner saying it, I'm like, dude, you know that.
Right.
If he catches me, we hold each other accountable. That's good.
For sure.
Criticize.
Yeah. Good criticism right there. Yeah.
I agree with it. And then sometimes I'll even take like, a young kid that we have in our warehouse or something. And if I hear I didn't have time, all right, come here. Here's 15-minute blocks. Write down everything you did.
Right.
They have a hard time doing that. I'm like, dude, what happened here?
Right.
Or what happened here? What happened here? You do have time. You got to prioritize your time.
Right.
And I challenge everybody to do that. You guys do this. We do it. Actually, I was just with my HR manager, and we're talking about time audit.
Oh, yeah.
Being productive.
I believe it.
Yeah.
For sure. How do you feel about planning ahead? Do you think that's lately I've noticed it more in my life. Like, I need to plan ahead. Mm-hmm. Like, if I want to do a podcast with Jaret, if I could schedule it a week in advance, I would much rather do that than last second.
Yeah.
And I used to be last second everything. And yeah, we could fit in a podcast today. Now I'm like, if it's not scheduled a week out, I'm like,
yeah, I don't work that way. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
I plan the plan.
Yeah.
And, I'm learning how to use my phone and the calendar and all that shit. But I'm a pencil to paper. And Christina just got me it's an app on my tablet for my iPad.
Yeah.
Where it writes like paper.
Okay.
So I don't have like before I had notepads everywhere.
Yeah.
Now I have one.
You can sort the folders.
Different folders. I literally plan my day and my week out all the time. And even the year, actually, I literally just came from, I have a small business mastermind I run, and we just planned out our whole content calendar for all of 22. That's what we were just doing. So planning is super important. You don't have to be the best. If you're the best planner, dude, you're going to outbeat the guy that is very unorganized.
Yeah.
So I got to ask about the planning because obviously COVID was something that put a lot of shake up to a lot of plans. What's the best way to deal with that? You just set out a plan for 2022. Say if we say, something like that. It's hard to say an extreme like that's going to happen, but like something crazy happens where like that plan gets broken? Are you going to sit back down and establish a new plan? Or are you guys going to try to do as close to that plan as you can and just kind of make it work? Like, what's the best way you think of going
So
about
I'm
that?
gonna kind of throw the question back to you guys because you guys are partners with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen if one of the platforms for podcasts got shut down? Well, who's the innovator here?
What do you mean the innovator? Like,
Come on, one of you are the doer and the other's the innovator. One has the vision.
I'd say he's got the vision with like the YouTube stuff.
Okay.
We kind of like, I would say we split up the work. Like
What if YouTube shut down? What would you do? Come on, man.
Probably like do a lot of Instagram lives.
So you pivot.
Yeah.
And this is where you got to be, a good leader. And here's what I'm going to use COVID. That's a great thing, great scenario. So I'm part of a group with 40 other small business flooring store owners. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about, we had a call at the beginning of COVID when they were talking about shutting stores down, right? Because I have a showroom in Medina. And I brought up, hey, guys, here's what we're doing to keep people going. And everyone on that phone, negative. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. We had a record year. Right? So did our plan change? Absolutely. But I pivoted.
Yeah.
So that just because you make the plan doesn't mean it doesn't change.
Yeah.
But at least you get the mind, the juices flowing, you're thinking. And you got to be able to be quick on your feet. The world's never seen anything like COVID before.
Right.
And to me, that separated a lot of talkers from doers big time.
For sure.
And I'm watching guys, and we're in the trade world. Like, trades are booming. You should be able to fall over money right now. And I'm watching guys struggle. I'm like, man, because you don't plan. You don't know how to budget. You just simply just kind of wake up with no really purpose.
It's everything. Hobby Lobby's hiring at $18 an hour to be a cashier.
Yeah.
Like,
It's nuts. I've never seen it like it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They were talking about raising minimum wage, and then it just kind of happened. Like, it didn't need to be mandated.
Yeah.
Everyone just did it.
When you need.
Well, and you know what? It goes back to knowing your principles and all that. Remember they were doing bonuses for like the fast food places, $300 bonus, sign-on bonus?
Yeah.
Well, what is that? What kind of message does that send to your team, your current team?
That's
terrible.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say I didn't even think
Guess
about
what
that.
we did? We reversed it. You know what, guys? Instead of all these, if you guys want to go change your career for a $300 bonus, have at it. You don't have us anymore.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, you bring us somebody good, I'll pay you the bonus.
Right. I like that.
For the referral.
Right.
We didn't pay any bonuses.
Right.
That's ridiculous. That $300 is not going to change anybody's life.
Right.
Money is a very temporary motivator, and it's shocking that these big corporations see this, but I guess it's different lifestyles of who works in certain places.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now,
Did that answer your question though?
yeah,
on
no,
the
I think that
pivot?
that was great. I'm glad. I love how you went about that. So now I got to ask. So I have a cool story. When I was working, we work for a company that runs for youth wrestling tournaments. Right, It's a good college job. Call your own hours. He pays us well. He treats us right. Good stuff. Anyways, there was a time where he was my boss was at the tournament. He was kind of just sitting back, laid back. And I was talking about how this kid was volunteering because we have the wrestling teams of whatever school we're at volunteer. This kid was sprinting. Every time he got a piece of paper, he sprinted it to me. He ran as hard as he could. This kid was dripping sweat volunteering. So I go back and I make a comment. I'm like, man, there's a kid hustling out there. He goes,
Like
who is he?
Being a jackass, joking around.
Yeah, like, typical, that's what people do. Like, I was guilty. And I was like, man, this kid is really, I've never seen anything like that. I've been doing it for 3 years at the time. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. He goes, who is he? I walk him out there. Next thing I know, he's got the kid in the back. He's trying to hire him. He's like, listen, man, like, I want you working with me. I know if you're doing that volunteering, what are you going to do when I start paying you? Like, that's what his thought was. Do you have any cool stories like that, or do you believe in stuff like that where you could see something right?
I still do it all the time. If I see somebody, actually, you just gave me a great idea. I had, in my corporate world, I had what was called recruitment cards. If I saw someone hustling like that, like, dude, you want a career change? I will give you every opportunity. Just call me.
Yeah.
Just call me. Let's have a conversation. I do it now all the time, and actually, I look for people better than me to hire that offset me. You don't want a bunch of Steves running around a company. We'd be out of business.
Yeah, that's what he says, too.
You'd have desks flipped over. I get pretty animated. Like, my new office is in a dungeon. Like, I'm away from everybody. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I have a story from in my corporate world to where I got a guy from a gas station. Didn't know anything about automotive, right? Came in as an assistant store manager. He was in Menor or Paynesville. I forget which store. Anyways, out that way. And now he's a district manager up there. Dude was at probably a dead-end job, no future, wasn't going to college. Him and I could relate. like, dude, just call me. Let's go grab. I think we grabbed Chipotle
Yeah.
up there and just had a conversation. And although entrepreneurship's not for him, but you still, I don't care, man. Just because I left that company, and that company did me very well, taught me a lot of things, but we went different paths.
Yeah.
And he's still continuing to grow there.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's all about leadership. It is.
sure.
It's truly all about leadership and being able to identify it. And so many people are looking for that person that knows it all right away. Man, you got to. Do they have the capacity and the key ingredients to where that I can coach and develop them to be something better?
Yeah, for sure. I want to touch on a little bit of the investment side of business.
Let's do it.
So you said you didn't want to be known for someone that's just in real estate.
Yeah.
I want to touch on it a little bit just because, like,
Let's do it.
I believe in it so much of creating passive income. How do people start? What do you recommend doing? Because
Like-
there's a lot of people that are like, I want to own a couple rental properties, but I don't know where to do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess you want to just talk rentals or anything real estate.
Anything real estate. How do you start?
Something to make your money grow.
So
Anything.
I could teach you everything not to do.
Right.
You know, it was funny meeting Greg Clement and one of the coaching programs that I went a part of, and he told me you got to get a mentor, right? And he introduced me to a group called Fortune Builders, $35,000 investment. I've never done anything like that in my life.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, shit, if Greg's doing it, I better figure it out. I'm like, we're just trying to fix our flooring store. And I'm like, swipe these 2 cards. Don't do that. The reason I'm telling you that, you don't have to necessarily do that unless you got the money.
Yeah.
If you were to get started,
Swipe these 2. That's fucking
here,
great.
this one's got 20 on it,
Yeah.
this one's got 15.
Let me know if you need a third.
I'll
Did
find one.
they go through? And I hunkered down and just learned as much as I possibly could. There's too many guys out here. They're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, looking at these
TikTok,
these 2-minute stories, these 2-minute videos, and think they're experts at this shit. They're not. And to get started in the real estate world, literally you got to kind of get in the trenches. If you want to get started in real estate and buying it, you got to learn how to underwrite deals and learn how to raise money.
Yep.
If you can do those 2 things, you don't need money to get started. You need to surround yourself with someone doing it like you're doing already, all right? If you can underwrite a deal and you can raise private money, you could build a portfolio.
Yep.
I'm telling you. I went from I'm down to, I think I got 50 rental units right now. I had almost 100, but I had a bad partnership. We unloaded a bunch of stuff just to get out of it. Sucks. I wish I didn't sell it off, but you know, the learning through that, it was kind of, I used to go around just partnering with people. I'm like, oh, dude, you got money? I'll handle the deal. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, you learn that having so many different partnerships and spread so thin doesn't make a lot of sense. So now I got my core group of guys that, hey, man, this is who I'm committed to. We're going to build our empire together, but there might be a one-off deal here and there. But yeah, if you can learn how to truly underwrite a deal and raise private money, and I'm going to leave it at that. Go out and learn it yourself and find something other than you. YouTube's a good starting point, but find a guy or gal that's doing it. I'm going to give a plug to Christina.
Yeah.
Her group, she gives more info or even just as much as my $35,000 group. And what is she, $300 a month?
200.
Jeez, we got to get her to raise her prices.
Oh, come on.
$200.
Hey.
You're probably grandfathered in, bro.
No.
No, but seriously, you know, you look at guys in her group that I personally know that were so scared to take that leap, and some have like 10 rentals now.
Right.
And 10 rentals is not something to take lightly. That's huge. That's life-changing.
Oh, yeah.
One rental. You got a rental now, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Do you have any?
No, I have none.
All right, you going to get into it?
I plan to. I want to. Like I said, after seeing him, I mean, obviously, him and I are close.
Yeah.
He's having success. He's loving it. It
Yeah.
makes it, you're sitting here, and it's like, that's kind of like what you said about us.
Yeah.
We just, like, everyone wants everyone to be happy. I'm freaking ecstatic for him. I actually reached out to him the other day just to tell him how happy I was for him.
Yeah.
Because, like, it just, it
I'm
opened your
super
eyes.
pumped.
Yeah, but, like, so, like I said, I feel like that's part of, like, what life is, too. You see other people having success, and it kind of motivates, like you said, you were like, all right, well, how do I top that now? Like, what do I need to do to,
Yeah.
like, obviously learn that and more? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to look at it. And it's not, I don't want him to fail. It's just that competitive winning aspect in your head of, I want to be better. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's why this works, too. Like,
I want you to succeed, to be better than me, which is going to push me to be better than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right.
I'm not just competing against the next person. I'm competing against myself.
for sure.
And I Yeah, we all get caught up in comparing ourselves to other people.
Always.
And that's something I've learned the last 2-3 years is like, dude, that person has a whole different path than me. Like, I have my own path. Like,
Yep.
Whatever you see on social media is 90% of it's not true.
Yep.
It's all fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's bullshit. So.
Yep.
Huh.
Definitely for like us, I would say we're definitely influenced by social media. It's huge.
The whole world is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to focus on what you're dealing with. Okay,
Well,
did you have to go to school to pay for your debt, or did someone else pay for it? You know what I mean? Everyone has a different start.
Dude, we came up with no money. I
Right.
came up with no money. Wasn't good for barely made it out of high school. Didn't make it any college. And here I am,
Right.
got multiple companies and stuff like that. If I can do it, anybody can. I guarantee it. You just have to be driven enough to do it. But going back to your social media thing, this is something I'm going to challenge you two on big time. You guys got this podcast, right? I was talking about creating one. I just talked. I didn't actually put a plan to paper. Now you're going to make me go put a plan to paper on this thing. Christina just is launching hers.
Yeah.
That goes back to, and I consider that kind of social media too.
Yeah.
Are you a consumer or are you a creator?
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
So we were all guilty of it, and you guys might be today. We sit there on our phones and just scroll.
Always.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, eliminate that. Most of the shit that's on there is garbage.
Yep.
It's dog shit. It brings literally no value in the value of time. I'm gonna swing back to that.
Oh yeah.
You're literally losing valuable time of your life by watching stupid video of somebody whatever they are, like these stupid pranks and shit like that. I mean, yeah, you still gotta have your fun if it's fun, but be somebody that people can look up to, that you're putting out good content, that you get a followers that putting positive stuff out in the world. Because we need, now more than ever, we need more of it.
I'm 100% guilty. I'm a really motivated individual.
Mm-hmm.
I'll catch myself on TikTok in the middle of the day for 15 minutes. I'm like, it's not 8 o'clock at night right now. What the fuck am I doing? This is something I should do at 8 o'clock at night when I'm chilling. Why am I doing it right now?
And if that's something you enjoy, like watching a TV show, fine, that's one thing. But there's people out there literally go through hours of it.
Right.
And look at who you're following, who shows up in your feeds. And that's going back to that who I eliminated on my life.
Yeah.
I do that on social media too.
Okay.
So I unfriended a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that
I
phase.
unfollowed certain people that just don't fit my world anymore.
Yeah.
And I went through and like all the people I've met or want to meet or I look up to, I think brings a lot of value to myself. Start following them. So now everybody in my feed, 90% of it is very, very high level, motivating, purposeful content. So if I am scrolling, at least I'm getting something that might be a reminder, something of value, something of purpose.
Right.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. That's cool to hear. Interesting.
So be the local celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, what I think is cool off of this, I'm not saying we inspired Christina to start a podcast, but like...
You might have.
Yeah, but like, who knows? Howie Gross, who we were talking about, he was the same way. He reached out to us. He's like, I love what you guys are doing. He's like, I want to help, but I want to start my own. And like, that's cool for us, but it also, like I said, motivates me now where it's like, all right,
got some competition.
Yeah, now we're the original though. Like we're gonna be the top of this food chain. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I want to help them, and I'm gonna be promoting them. They're like, that's like what we do.
But the cool part is everybody can win together.
Exactly.
And this is if you guys learn how to win together. Like his podcast might be something totally separate than yours.
Oh, it is.
You guys got a good niche going. Like it's very general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christina's gonna be real estate driven.
For sure.
Howie's probably will be more financial driven.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
No, I think it is though.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually gonna be
He
political.
was
will
looking
be.
for a co-host that was pretty neutral from their political standpoint.
Yeah.
He asked me, I'm like, no, I'm out. I'm sorry, I'm not going there.
I love Howie though. I hope it takes
Oh, yeah.
off. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the cool. It's different. Like you said, it's different than what we're doing.
Dude, I love that he's so like
Entrepreneurial mindset.
well that, but like with his
He's so passionate.
political stuff, his passion.
Yeah.
I'm like, Howie, there's probably a way you can handle that differently, bro. But
That's
like,
who he is.
you gotta-
That's who he is.
Yep.
He's excited.
and you know what? I don't know it all. Like, if
Right.
it works for him, do it.
Right.
I know
To him.
guys that are very passionate and very outspoken on their political stance and are
Yep.
very successful.
Yeah.
I say both sides suck, but we're not going to
Yeah.
get in that.
Yeah. No,
I'm
for sure.
with you
That's
there.
how we are.
Yeah, we don't touch on it.
I turned the news off 2 years ago, and it's the best thing I ever did.
I I've been
believe
telling
it.
my parents that's why I came home for winter break and they have the news. I'm like, why do you guys watch
Yeah.
this? Like, I don't like. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Like, you watch the news and you genuinely feel worse about yourself after the hour show.
All propaganda.
Go read a positive article
Yeah.
online.
There's so
instead
much
of
other
watching.
stuff.
We need information, but there's other ways of doing it than on
100%.
mainstream media.
Yep.
100%.
For sure.
Yep, totally agree.
Because you could see the same thing, like, here's one vision on this channel, the other vision on this channel, and they're both wrong.
Yep.
I don't care which way you swing or whatever like that, but or you vote, it doesn't matter. They both put out bad content to a certain
100%.
point.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more.
Yep, for sure. Totally agree. All right. Well, that was a good conversation.
Yeah?
Now we gotta have some fun though.
Yeah.
Come on. This is kicking
do
it
it.
back. We
Let's
gotta
go.
kick it back a little bit.
We're gonna roll into a segment that we just started this season. It's called "What's the Word?" So for the people listening at home, what's gonna happen is Jaret and I are gonna rattle off 4 words. Steve is gonna say the first word or phrase that comes to mind after this word was said.
Yeah. So
Shit,
they
I
could
don't
be
like
random.
being put on the spot like this.
We've
There
heard
you
this
go.
reaction, but it's good. It gets you raw content right
I'm good
there.
with it. Let's go.
All right. First one. Work.
Life.
Okay. I like that. Rental properties.
Passive.
Flooring.
Shit. Legacy.
Okay.
Legacy.
Steve Walbolt.
Hustler.
All right. And then what we've been asking, I'm curious too. Okay. 100 years from now, someone says that name. What do you want the first word to be? Come to their mind.
Or phrase.
Yeah. Anything.
Inspirational.
Love it.
That was a good answer.
It's fitting.
That's how.
Very good.
Yeah. Love that.
You want to chat on that for a quick second?
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do
'Cause
it.
That's one thing. You know, we grew up in a family like we didn't have money. You go to work, you invest, you put money in your 401k, you retire, right?
Yep.
Well, I feel it was my duty, and I forgot who I saw this from. You change your family's legacy, right? You change who's around their legacy, their family's legacy. So I feel it's my job to be able to change that. You know, got to retire my mom and my dad, and I have a house they live in. We moved them back from Atlanta up here. It's super cool stuff. They work for my flooring company part-time. They're happy.
That's awesome.
They don't have to worry about money.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to go to a stressful job. They don't have to worry about a house.
That's
nothing
awesome.
like that.
That's sick.
super cool.
That to me is that you see these guys flashing these Rolex watches and car. And now, mind you, I mean, I'm getting there too, but I think there's priorities. Mine is taking care of my family first, and then that stuff comes secondary. And not just family. When I say family, it doesn't have to be blood. It could be anybody else. And I feel that's my duty, is to continue to learn and educate and what's the next thing for us to do.
For sure.
So.
Huh, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
That was good.
Do you? I asked Christina the same thing, and I kind of just want to ask it to you because I think it's
Sure.
a good question.
Let's do it.
Do you feel you have to love what you do?
Oh, big time.
Okay.
Big time. I used to wholesale. Ask Christina about this. So she actually came to work for my company. I had a wholesale company, right? And my partner and I, the ones that we split, you know, wasn't a good partnership. We just didn't work out together. I told Christina one day, I'm like, fire us, just quit, because we were holding her back.
Yeah.
I hated wholesaling. I hated it with a passion, and I'm trying to take on. I was doing so many things. I was okay at everything.
Yeah.
But I wasn't an expert at one thing. Now today, I use that word no a lot, actually. I use no a lot. I had a guy message me the other day on, like, crypto mining. If I wanted to start a venture with him on it, I'm like, dude, no. And 2 years ago, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's just go. And we'll figure it out
Let's do
later.
it,
We'll
yeah.
figure it out later. But now, if it doesn't align with my businesses, my life, my lifestyle, I say no.
Yeah.
Or if I'm not passionate about it.
Okay.
Wholesaling, I hate it. I envy you for it, because that to me, I'm just gonna be a good buyer for you guys. I'll be a damn good buyer.
That's awesome.
I'll get there one day.
But yes, to answer your question, I think you have to love what you do.
Okay.
If you don't,
I like
you're not gonna put your heart and soul into it.
For sure.
And you're gonna treat it like a job.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna want to turn it off. To me, like, this is where I think, like, when I met Christina, I'll tell that, you know, I don't know if you guys heard, I met her by buying houses. She wholesaled 7 houses to me.
Okay.
2 of them sucked. Tell her that.
I will.
2 of them sucked, man. She had
Tell her that.
She had no business selling me those damn houses. She knew she had me, and she found a sucker in me and sold me 2 houses.
That's great.
But, you know,
It worked out.
It's cool because, you know, she's a hustler,
Yeah.
entrepreneur mindset, and I think that's why our relationship works out too, because we don't have to shut work or life off.
Yep.
It kind of all goes together, and we can go to dinner and talk work, life, whatever. That's not like, many people are like, can we not talk about work?
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
I don't understand them.
Yeah.
I don't know how to understand that. I just don't anymore. I used to.
That's a cool aspect right there. I
that
never
is-
even thought about
definitely, you have to have a partner that definitely works with what you love.
Yeah.
Because, like, there will be times I'm working at, like, 8 o'clock at night for no reason, and my girlfriend's like, why are you still working? I'm like, I don't know. I just love it. I just have to do
and
it.
the thing is even if your significant other is not entrepreneur mindset, that's fine. It
Right.
still can work,
Right.
but they have to understand you. And I think a lot of the world doesn't understand that. Like, there's some entrepreneurs with people that don't want to be entrepreneurs or don't like that, and it just kind of sets you up for failure.
Yeah.
For us, it's obviously easier because she's got her own companies and stuff like that, and I do too, so we can kind of talk the same language.
Right.
Is there times like, hey, I just don't want to talk about it today? Absolutely.
Right.
But working for the weekend, I don't do anymore.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah, I do.
That's
All right.
great.
Over under
do it.
rated. We got one topic. I want to hear your opinion. It's drinking at the bar. It's totally random. It always is. We had to have some fun. I mean, drinking at the bar, is it over or underrated? That's kind of how we met. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
So I gotta say underrated just for that aspect.
Underrated.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on who you're with, but
Yeah.
underrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is it like certain atmospheres? Do you like going out? Like, is it
Yeah, I go out quite a bit.
Yeah.
I guess it's who I'm with though.
Yeah.
for sure?
I don't know. I mean, I don't go out nearly as much as I used to, but
Yeah.
a lot of my going out is with buddies, and we're talking about the next best thing. What
Yeah.
are we doing now? We throw sports in there. Like,
Right.
we find reasons to go out, watch a game or whatever.
For sure.
Or we're throwing work in there, too.
Right.
And when I say work, like, talking about what's our next step? What's our next move? What's our next play? Stuff like that. So I like to tie one on. I like to go have fun. So
It's cool.
I'm with you there.
I'm the classic, I'll have one more. Yeah. One more? Yeah, I'll do that like 20 times.
You said Jim invited you when we went out, and you were like, you took the Uber to the bar. So I assume he's like the one, like, you're all right. You're gonna have a good time when Jim's
If
there.
Jim is, yeah. He's always the guy, I'm not drinking. And
Oh,
all
yeah.
of a sudden, here comes those Michelob.
Oh yeah. Down the hatch.
They called it the bullpen. They're
Yeah.
coming out. That's awesome.
And then, I got to posture up and try to keep up with Cam, too.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's great.
All right. Speaking of Cam, give it to us.
Yeah, Cam's hypothetical. All right, which one would you rather choose? Do what you love and not be able to pay the bills, or be miserable at work, be able to support your family, and be wealthy enough to retire at the age of 40?
And there's no like aspect. I don't want no BS in between. Well, I love what I do, but like you gotta. If you were put in the
That's
situation,
tough.
someone held a gun to your head.
Say it one more time.
So-
Say the second one.
Okay. Be miserable at work
Mm-hmm.
and be able to support your family and be wealthy enough to retire at the age of 40.
If there's no in-betweens, I got to unfortunately pick the second one.
Yeah, just because there's no in between.
And I got to make sure my family's taken care of.
Right.
Yeah, you just
I
said
would
that was
hate
your
it, but
priority.
that's my priority.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but if there's no bullshit in betweens.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay, let's say you don't have a family, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You go to work every day and you are you have the most passion in the world.
Okay.
Happiest guy there. But you're struggling to pay the bills.
You're living out of your car.
Yeah.
We'll just say for the
But
scenario.
you are genuinely you wake up and you're like, I get to go to work today. Like, this is awesome.
Are we talking now or is this forever?
See, it's so tough.
I would
Because
say
That one's
forever.
a tough-
I want it
Dude,
forever.
tell
That's
Cam
tough.
to pick better ones.
No, that is a tough one because there's many aspects. Now, I want to throw it at. We said you could retire at the age of 40 because I
Sure.
feel like that. If you retire at the age of 70, but you're paying the bills, you're miserable until you're 70. It's still worth it because you're taking care of the
I
family.
have to.
Okay. Yeah. I assume that was going to
I'm
be
not-
the answer. I'm just curious.
My role is not to be selfish.
Right.
It's not. I got to take care of my family.
Yeah. That's good.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad.
sure.
I'm glad you sat
Yeah.
down with us. You're looking a little bit better than we are. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
I got to go throw on my
you
night
forgot
shirt.
to tell
Look
us
at
to
you.
dress up.
Shit, I didn't know. I just came from work, guys.
We must have left that out of the text message when
Yeah.
we confirmed last night. No, we're joking. We got to get you a hoodie for next time. You know,
Yeah.
get a little kicking it back.
You guys gonna have me on again?
Oh, after this, how do we not?
What do you want to talk about next?
Oh, the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
I guess you'll have
Boom.
to tune in and find out. We'll
I
clickbait
love
it now.
it.
I love
love
Steve, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it, guys.
it.